My last guest of the afternoon has been fighting for underserved communities in Miami-Dade County for decades. First as a nonprofit leader and now as a mayor of Miami-Dade County. It's my pleasure to welcome Mayor Daniella Levine Cava, who I spoke to just a short while ago.
Mayor, it's so great to be with you. Thank you for joining us today. Listen, you have been both in kind of the NGO world, helping people just not as much means as many that are on the upper end of things, both individuals and businesses in your career before you became mayor, in helping them to find resources. And I'm really interested in this nexus of when we talk about recovering from COVID and bringing our communities back to life, seeing what's happening with small business. What are the insights you have both as mayor, where you are in such a vibrant place, but also helping those people that may not be on the fast track?
Thank you so much, Steve, and great to be with you. I have spent a lifetime trying to make sure that people have opportunity, trying to make sure that we have equity in our economy. And so I always am looking for the path to help lift people up. And so this pandemic, unfortunately, like other economic downturns, often means that people at the bottom do worse. So it's really our responsibility, our opportunity to change that dynamic and to create the platforms, the technical assistance, the mentoring, the coaching, the access to capital, whatever we can do to the pipelines to good jobs, whatever we can do to make sure that people can, not just the economy bounce back better than ever, but that
Right.
people can bounce back better.
Now, you did this in an organization called Catalyst Miami. And when you talk about mentoring, and it sounded like high touch, like you had real relationships with people and small businesses. Now that you're in government and you run a $9 billion budget and you have 28,000 employees, does that get lost, the high touch? Are you still able to keep it human and real and connected like you did with Catalyst Miami?
Yeah, thank you. It's a great question. I have created the best team. They are out in the community every single day, connecting with businesses, with nonprofits, with faith groups, with civic and chambers. And I am very accessible. So people do know that about me. They have my cell phone number. They text me. I answer. I participate virtually. Virtual does allow us to spread ourselves a little thinner because we don't have to do the travel time. So it's been actually really fantastic as mayor to be free to really do this work countywide. We had the largest ever engagement program in the history of Miami-Dade County with Thrive 305, and we had over 1 million responses. 1% of the population completed a survey. We took the input from that and from in-person and virtual meetings of hundreds, actually thousands, and incorporated into our budget, which is being reviewed right now.
Now, I know that you have worked, you and I have spoken before about American Rescue Plan funds and how that has helped create a bit of a buffer for some out there. What do you need today? And more importantly, what are the small business people? I mean, I think sometimes, people kind of homogenize what small business people mean or are. They're so diverse. They're in every corner of our communities.
Yes.
And they were hit so hard in many ways by COVID and what happened. Now, I mean, we may or may not. I know down in Florida, you are continuing, as much of the country, to continue to struggle with what the new norm is going to be. But I'm interested in, what do you need today? How did the American Rescue Plan work out for them? Are there things that we should be thinking, both in the business sector and the finance sector, in government, that we should be thinking about that your constituents need?
We have an opportunity to really look to the future because we have to reset the economy. Things are different in so many ways. Obviously, a lot more virtual technology, a key driver, but also our small business economy, which is the driver, the backbone here. They have to reinvent themselves to the new demands. So we have put up Strive 305, which is our small business innovation program. And we have virtual hubs, we have physical hubs, we have online classes, access to capital. We partnered with the Miami Foundation, our community foundation, for something called LaborMiami.org that links up. We have Access Helps, another one that helps with access to capital. So we are creating a whole infrastructure, a whole ecosystem of supports. And the CARES Act helped us move these businesses forward. And now with the American Rescue Plan as well, we're going to be doing some innovation grants. We have our own tech advisor on staff and our new economic development director. We're applying for a very, very big grant from the EDA. So anybody listening, watch out, because we are definitely going to win this thing and it's going to help us. We've always been the most entrepreneurial place on the planet. We get high marks, and what we haven't always been is good at supporting those innovative ideas to scale. So that is going to be the focus of our work.
Look, so many of us have been going to Miami-Dade, your area, for so many years. I mean, it's one of the great attractions in the country. But my impression was, and with all due respect, is that a couple of decades ago, people came in and they left. That it was tourism which continues to be, of course, very important, but that Miami lacked a stickiness for some of the larger players, for investment capital, for finance, which finance is so much a part of the ecosystem that businesses need, to grow and expand. My sense is that has shifted and changed.
Yes.
Am I right about that? And where do you think are going? What do you think that those listening should know about the topography of business and finance, and what's sticking now in your world?
So I think we're no longer just a vacation destination. We love that. We want still tourism to be very big, but we also want people to relocate, at least for part of the year. And, in a way you could say it's the new snowbirds. It's a funny concept, but we've got the tech bros and girls who are flocking here, buying up beautiful homes, real estate, starting their or moving their companies here, or maybe some working remotely. And we are really rolling out the welcome mat to make sure they understand that this is a great place, not just to visit, but to actually work and host your business. We've got the pipeline of the talent. We're working across our very robust college and university and technical training programs. So we're doubling down on all of those things very deliberately to make sure that people stay. And so, we know that we're the fad and the fashion, but we think that the lifestyle is so good, and the global dynamism and culture and weather and attractions are going to keep people here and make it sticky.
One of the other things, Mayor, that has really impressed me about your neighborhood is Miami-Dade College. I got to know Eduardo Padron some time ago. He received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Obama. And when you go down to that school, it just sort of has to have every kind of stripe and flavor of human being you can imagine. You have young students, you have non-traditional elder students, you have students of every ethnic background. And it was just really heartening to see that. I guess my question is, that's one thing to look at in a university or a college, community college of that sort, that trains people on so many different fronts. How is that plugging in? Is that solving? Because one of the things I hear a lot about is the jobs gap, that there are so many jobs that are open and not being filled. To what degree do we need to change our vector or our awareness or aperture when it comes to training people and getting them in those positions? And I know you've got this great asset down there in Miami-Dade.
You're absolutely right. Our Miami-Dade College is, for many of us, our best asset. It's really America's college. It is the great American dream producer. And so many of our leading citizens are graduates of Miami-Dade College. So they're first generation college goers and come from all over the world, like you say. So it's a really impressive economic engine. And that coupled with research institutions, Florida International University, University of Miami, and other really excellent colleges. We have historical Black college, and we have Catholic college, and we have technical. So there has been a mismatch, and we have graduates also from those colleges. We have one of the highest college graduation rates in the country. And so there has to be a more strategic linkage, and we are all working together exactly to make that happen. And I want to mention the Knight Foundation, the John and James L. Knight Foundation, which came out of the newspaper Empire. They are headquartered here, and they have made major investments in the advanced training as well at the community college level to make sure that we have the robust pipeline that we need.
That's great. And finally, Mayor, I know this is a political question, but you're sitting down there in a world, and your constituents, I'm sure, are looking at this sort of boxing match between Governor DeSantis, the governor of Florida, and President Biden here in Washington over what the social contract on masks and health ought to look like. What should those, that balance between, public health concern, liberty, et cetera. And I'm wondering, as a mayor who's at a different level in this, but I'm sure people are looking at you, what kind of guidance do you give them? I say, is there a betting pool somewhere on who's going to win?
Well, Steve, we're already winning here in Miami-Dade County because we have stayed the course. We took advantage of the vaccines when they finally became available. And before that, we did what we needed to do to stay safe with the sanitizing and the masking and social distancing and the like. And so I'm not involved in that political fray. We just keep our focus on the prize, and we have the highest vaccination rate, the lowest COVID positivity rate, the best hospitalization rates in the state. And in fact, we make the rest of the state look good with our numbers. So we're just going to keep doing what we're doing, and we are leaving no stone unturned, making sure that our people know what they need to do to stay safe.
I'm going to sneak in one last one. My producer's going to get so upset. Tell me about a business person that who's sort of had a tough time and come out of this. Tell me share a story with us of one of your constituents that you think we ought to know about.
Well, we celebrated labormiami.org launch a week or so ago, and we had a wonderful businesswoman with us who had come through the incubator that I created as a commissioner in South Dade, Accelerate South Dade. She is providing technical assistance to other businesses, and obviously the COVID pandemic was difficult for her business, but she stayed the course. And she is a real success story. She was able to adapt, diversify, and she was there to celebrate with us the launch of this website. And I felt so very proud of her success, so proud to know that we had really helped her along the way to stay on course and not lose hope. And I'll tell you another one. We have a solar company in South Dade that we helped with a small business loan. I'm talking like maybe $5,000. It wasn't a loan, excuse me, it was a grant. And that company, Cutler Bay Solar, has grown its workforce. It was doubled, it was tripled, it's been quadrupled, and they're installing my solar panels. So,
wow.
Way to go, Cutler Bay Solar.
No, I love to hear these stories. I love to hear that the first woman you're talking about is out there helping other people as well after, she had her experiences. But listen, I always enjoy our conversations. I think it's so important what you're doing down there. I love your experience as well before you were mayor and how you brought those skill sets into what you're doing today. So Mayor Daniella Levine Cava of Miami-Dade County, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Steve.
Well, that brings us to the end of our program today. A big thank you to Wells Fargo for its support and to all of you attendees. I really want to thank Wells Fargo for supporting the whole series. I mean, this around-the-country trip we've taken has been giving us fascinating insights into what's happening with small business recovery in the country. For those of you who missed any of these conversations this afternoon, we'll have the video up from the event on our website shortly. I'm Steve Clemons. Be well.